What's up, y'all? Welcome in to the Monday morning edition of Wake Up Barstool, which means it's me, Brandon Walker, Dave Portnoy, and then we got Meek Phil and Liam Bluntman behind the glass of nerds, and we got all your favorite segments, man. We got to recap some massive news out of Baton Rouge as Brian Kelly is out as the LSU head football coach. Brandon's big, tough weekend in Starkville, a ton of NFL to get to. Great Sunday night game last night. Patriot Dave expected to be cockier than ever. Football G-Spot with Greg Olsen and Jon Gruden and Coach Gruden's shred line. So a ton to get to this morning. Wake Up Barstool. Let's get it on FS1. What's up, y'all? Welcome in FS1 Monday Wake Up Barstool. Dave, what's going on, brother? The new house looks great, or new setting, whatever it is. It looks fantastic. How we doing?
Good. I'm doing even better because I woke up, I saw there's a hurricane. Hurricane Melissa is about to hit Jamaica. Praying for all the people in Jamaica, but I thought it was coming right at me. I was going to lose my house. So good start to the day. It's getting a little bit of back to old times here, because I'm waking up and having victory Mondays left and right. Michigan wins. The Patriots win. Both teams look very good. Michigan okay, but feeling good. Good day for sports. I know you guys got a bunch to get to, obviously. I don't know, T-Bob. Is it a victory Monday for you because Kelly got fired?
I'm gonna say yes. You know how sometimes you can't be honest with yourself until you have the benefit of hindsight? Like, I have sat here for 3.5 years gaslighting myself into believing in Brian Kelly. And Brandon's tried to dissuade me of the motion. Many people have, right? And it would
Brandon doesn't believe in him because Brandon week to week says LSU's back and he loves LSU and Brian Kelly's going to turn the ship around. He literally says that every single week.
I simply said history over the last 3 years dictated that might happen. And obviously they quit on Saturday night and then they quit on Brian Kelly. Yes, continue.
What Brandon has said a lot, and since day one, is that Brian Kelly's not a fit, never was a fit. And that's a line that many have echoed. That's a line that I fought against and gaslit myself against for years, which now appears to be, well, exactly correct. It was never a fit. There was no connection. And honestly, yeah, I'm glad it's over. The softness of the culture that I witnessed over the last 2 weeks out of Baton Rouge was the saddest display that I have ever seen. And so far, such a far cry from what this LSU Tiger football team was for over 20 years in its golden era, where they were the bullies as opposed to getting bullied. So, yeah, get him the hell out of here. He's lame. It sucks. And
who hired him? Now, that's what I got to know. Who? Because to me, I was one of the guys, and I think as, you know, I end up being on more national programs, whether it's Wake Up Barstool, Big Noon Kickoff, our own programs. Time is really reflecting beautifully on me. Like, a lot of my takes now are out there. And one of them was right from the jump that this guy was the wrong guy. He's not an LSU guy. The fake accent day 2 when he shows up in the job. The video with the recruit that everybody plays and they're doing that thing around. He was never the right guy.
I defended that and I hate that.
My question is, I knew he wasn't the guy. A lot of people, I'm not going to be the only one who took this take. It's like you get a fake Louisiana accent, all this. So whoever fired him, whoever hired him, was it the AD? Is this still the same AD? Because this should not be just Brian Kelly's see you later. Whoever was involved in hiring this guy should be gone.
This is the same guy who hired Jimbo at A&M and gave him a $75 million buyout. Now he does it at LSU. I don't know how much the buyout is going to end up being, but the same guy that gave Texas A&M program to Jimbo Fisher gave the LSU program to Brian Kelly. Same guy, T-Bob.
I know. Dave, what's your reaction to learning?
Are we not saying
Woodward? Scott Woodward. Excuse me.
It's Scott Woodward. He's been a long-time AD, working his way up through Washington to A&M and then back home to LSU. He's an LSU guy.
So this guy still has a job today?
He still has a job today. Now, this story goes...
And he's going to hire the next guy.
This story goes deeper than y'all realize. To be fair to Woodward, all other programs under his purview are doing very well. You got another baseball natty. You got gym natties.
None of that matters.
That don't matter.
I think y'all are correct.
On.
especially when it comes to Louisiana.
He said
right?
gymnastics, Dave.
Hey, bro, gymnastics puts 15.
Livy Dunn did great with that gymnastics program. Get out of here, T-Bob.
Okay,
Football runs the show, and this football team's a disgrace, a joke. Vanderbilt's favored, whoops their butt. They quit A&M. I was right on both sides of those. Go back and read and said A&M is going to crush this soft little team from LSU, and you're happy about the gymnastics team. You got to get Bob Woodward. Is that his name? Like
Scott,
that's the guy that got Nixon out of office.
Yes, that's the deep throat guy. Right?
Yeah,
no.
you got to get Scott Woodward guy. How many programs do you let them destroy? And by the way, I don't see his name. I haven't heard his name mentioned at all. I've been looking. Who's this guy? Get him out.
So in Louisiana, there's a unique setup where the governor has more control over the university than probably just about anywhere else. Like they appoint the entire board, and well, Jeff Landry is a very aggressive governor, and apparently he has had, reportedly, allegedly, I should say, he has had Woodward in his sights through this process, but it appears that by hook or by crook, by some sort of machinations and scheming, I think Woodward's going to survive.
And he's going to pick the next guy.
I think he's going to get to pick the next guy.
So he's going Jimbo, total failure, one of the great failures, and not only one of the great failures, the second they get Jimbo out, you get Mike Elko in, and he's running the program, the class of the SEC. I don't get that. A lot of times I feel like these ADs and the people on top get a free pass, and Woodward should be gone. That's my treat. And by the way, I like LSU. People think I don't. I couldn't see this kid, Bryce Underwood, go into that program and ruining his life. And that was part of the pitch. I said, listen, you got a coach over there. He's a bum. He's running this program into the ground. If you want to go to a real program, you got to forget about LSU. Your whole college career will be a disgusting disaster. So he goes to Michigan. But you got to get this guy out. College football, it's one of those hypotheticals. People always say, what does it mean? College football is better when LSU is good. When you have to go to Death Valley and you know the crowd's going and the chants and, you know, the suck my D, tiger tail, all that. Much better when it's good. Right now, you guys are a joke. We're laughing. I laugh at you guys every week. You got to get Woodward out, and this is the first step, though, getting this guy out.
Yeah, again, again, all this is very fluid. It could change. We are speaking on whispers and rumors, and you know how this stuff works. Everybody thinks they know, but
who cares? Who do you want?
Who do I want to be head coach?
Who do you want to be the head coach?
Great question.
Look, I think there's a very realistic. The realistic number one target is obviously Lane Kiffin. He's the hottest candidate in a market that is there's a dearth of candidates and a ton of open jobs. It means that the price is going to be incredibly inflated. Rumors are Ole Miss has a 12.5 offer on the table. Rumors are Florida has a $13 million a year offer on the table. So if you want to play, you're going to have to pay.
That's peanut butter and jelly. Lane Kiffin and LSU.
Yeah.
Peanut butter. Those two things go together. Man, he could do anything there.
And that is and that is. It's always been said and whispered about in back rooms that Lane would love to go to LSU and has been really interested. But the last hiring cycle, LSU thought they were above that. They went with the more august hire in Brian Kelly. Since that moment, Kelly's been middling, 5-11 against ranked teams. Lane has been great. There is something interesting, though, that maybe some of the older big money guys are intimating they would seek, and that is the return of the Crimson Emperor, Nick Saban.
Oh, come on. What are we doing?
I don't think.
Now we're wasting airtime. Now we're just wasting airtime.
Again. I'm just saying, if y'all want
shot.
If y'all I'm not saying that's why I said
that's who the big money guys want.
I'm saying that is who the old men who have the money, who push this forward, who are angry, that's who they're going to make say no first.
Well, I want Sydney Sweeney on the show every Monday morning. Can we get that?
Yeah, I mean that now.
I don't know. Dave has Madison Beer's number. He doesn't have Sydney Sweeney's number.
No, Meek's all right.
There is absolutely no shot. And by the way, Nick Saban, I don't think he's the moral high ground in a lot of areas. But even Nick Saban, I don't think there's a dollar figure that would let him go back to LSU, because then he's done at Alabama. He's an Alabama guy for life. That's his legacy. He's an old man now. How old is
He's
Saban?
73. So look, I'm inclined to agree.
Lane Kiffin's your guy.
He's got to be the guy. Because after Lane
He's got to be the guy, T-Bob. We got to get him down there. Well, no matter what, we got to get him down there.
Yeah, I agree. But after Lane Kiffin, in all seriousness, like, who's the next best attractive candidate? Are you already getting into like Summerall territory?
It is a big drop-off. It like Drink at Missouri, but I don't know how he's nowhere near as attractive as Lane is. Unless you steal a sitting head coach like Dan Lanning. Could you steal Dan Lanning?
I think Lanning's super content at Oregon.
I'm just throwing those ideas out there.
I know by doing
Dan Lanning would work at LSU. I don't know that he's leaving Oregon. I mean, you never know how much these guys are already making so much money. So, you know, listen, I wanted to move Brian Kelly. I didn't understand the move from Notre Dame to LSU. Like, I didn't get that.
So that's a very good point. I mean, the last time they had this job open, they did get Notre Dame's sitting head coach. It didn't work. So, but if they could get Notre Dame's head coach back then, they could get a lot of coaches right now. There's my number one job available. LSU goes to the top of the list. LSU over Florida, over Penn State. Those are the three biggest jobs, no doubt. But LSU is the number one job available.
So this does call up, though, just a way larger conversation, which is already, we have an FBS record 12 major jobs open at this point in the season. There's never been so many jobs. There's going to be plenty more that are available.
Florida State's coming.
And there's just no candidates. I mean, you're
and the jobs are opening because NIL, because you can turn a program around in 24 hours. So I think the fear, like you look at a James Franklin, who for the most part had it going at Penn State for a long time, has a down year this year when he's supposed to be good, and they say, see ya. I think the risk of being like, well, we can just get a new coach, he can go NIL, he can recruit, he can do this. You can turn things around instantly. Well, so I think the ability to fire a coach is less daunting or scary than it is pre-NIL area.
That's actually a very interesting point. And to
a great
that point, Dave, I said very interesting. I didn't say great.
That was a great point.
We'll see. But I will say this. The Lane hire would be the ultimate investor confidence move, right? Like, if you don't want the donors to dry up, if you want people to keep committing money to the program, you go hire Lane. Everybody's A-plus happy. The money's flowing in. You don't miss a beat. And to your point, you should be able to put together a very good roster immediately next year.
What about Let's Go Tigers?
Look, man,
he's down in Miami Beach just chilling.
Yeah, but didn't he say the other day he wanted to coach again?
Yeah, he has to coach again. Yeah, he wants to coach again. He's getting back in the game.
Tigers.
He wants to be head coach.
Get them going. He can probably get in that living room.
He said he would be open to taking a position coach role if it was on a championship team. I find it hard to believe that he might want to go to the place that he once was the head of at LSU, but
I'm saying head job, T-Bob. I'm not saying position coach. Listen.
No, I know what I'm saying is I don't think that is one that I don't think they would run back, though. I love Coach O, and I'd convince myself on it.
You want a national title? Listen, LSU's cooking when they got Let's Go Tigers. They got the Mad Hatter with his hands like going reverse. It's a strange, unique place with strange, unique guys who prosper there. Brian Kelly, as I said in real time, was never the fit. And by the way, I don't know if it's just made up. You see all the clips of Brian Kelly. Does anybody like him? Like, does even his wife like him?
It's a weird thing where I found him on like a interpersonal level to be kind, and like he'd have like somebody feeding him information, so he'd give you like a personal anecdote and whatnot about yourself, but it was just ultimate politician vibes.
It wasn't all hatred, but to hire from the start. There were some people that like to hire. Like this one person said, Brian Kelly is so underrated. He's had a top 5 program in Notre Dame the last 5 years with recruiting restrictions, and he's going to kill what LSU advantages.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Who said that?
Brandon Walker said that.
When he got hired, the second he got hired, I thought it was going to work. I thought Brian Kelly was fantastic, but Dave's right. The second he showed up and he faked his accent and he does the recruit video, like as soon as he actually showed up in Baton Rouge, because on paper, this should have worked. On paper, they were getting a guy who had built a playoff team at Notre Dame, a consistent playoff team, and it should have worked. And the second he gets there and he starts saying family and he starts doing all this stuff, it was like, no, this guy doesn't fit at all.
And
took about 5 minutes.
There's certain places that culture is just so important, and LSU is one of. I don't actually know how many places like you need to fit in with the culture and the vibe and everything going. LSU is one of them. Off the top, I don't know. It may be the only one I can think of off the top that is so based in like Louisiana culture and everything about it. And he goes in and fakes it. It was a disaster from the word go.
Again, like even from a governmental standpoint, LSU and by extension the football program, to your point, is it is intrinsic to the DNA of the state. And that's why, despite the fact, I mean, you look, I want to say Kelly won, if you look at the Kelly tenure, last 3.5 years, I want to say LSU won more games than like 12 of the 16 SEC teams.
Oh, they won the division in his first year.
They won the West year one, but ultimately what it comes down to, and this is kind of interesting because this is what Notre Dame fans were telling LSU fans at the time of the hire, we all wanted to ignore it, is he kind of looks like an easy win merchant. A little bit.
Yeah.
The stat that I keep going back to.
By the way, that's what Notre Dame still is, by the way.
Which fair.
And by the way, he killed to be an easy win merchant right now. He's not an easy win merchant. He's a lose to everybody merchant.
Well,
emphasis on he would kill.
Brandon, you bring that up. But in 2021, someone told Brandon Notre Dame doesn't play anybody good until a CFP, and Brandon said, "This isn't true. It's a lazy narrative. That's wrong."
Well, that is correct. That was not true.
Meek Phil is on you today, Walker.
Meek Phil's on him.
He thinks that's his only value. I don't know what you put this guy on the seat for. You took Rico out. Take this idiot out too.
Gotcha culture.
He is Meek's entire job is Brandon Walker gotcha culture. He's on the gotcha.
I mean, you can just give me the list. I'll tell you what I thought at the time. I was wrong about Brian Kelly at the beginning.
Going back to the easy win narrative, the reason why it feels so bad for LSU fans, even though the overall record looks fine, is 5-11 in ranked games. So anytime that you have played anybody with a pulse, right? Anytime you've been on any semblance of a stage, you have lost over double the amount of times you've won. What was Coach O's record? 21-13. Against ranked teams, even with the 5-5 year, even with the losing record year the next year, he was just great on the big stages.
I saw a random comment from an LSU fan last week on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and it really summed it up. And this isn't gotcha culture. I just read it. I'm like, that sums it. He goes, he said, we're underdogs against Vanderbilt. This is just disrespectful. And that is the state of LSU football, really. And I know LSU's good. I mean, Vandy's good. I believe in Vandy. But you can't live in a world, and Michigan went through it a little bit. You can't have LSU not be favored against teams like Vandy and then lose. You just can't do it. So the change had to be made. Now, the difference between like the advantage of firing now and letting him run out the string was it so you can start the coaching carousel now and the look. I don't always get that. You're over halfway through the season, but he had to go. He's a bum.
You pointed out the biggest thing the other night was them quitting. Like that game was close at the half. They came out, A&M came out playing hard in the second half. LSU laid down and quit in Tiger Stadium in front of everybody.
I mean, and it's the fact that you had A&M fans in the third quarter sawing it off in Death Valley, taking over. And then after LSU scores the meaningless touchdown, they do the LED light show.
Yeah.
They do. I had a buddy at the game. He said,
light shows are expensive.
He said, this is supposed to be a pantheon of concrete and steel, not Bella Noche. LSU has lost. They've lost the face of their father.
I tuned in at one point, and it was on similar to Michigan, but I tuned in, and I said, holy, with the S word, because I saw the A&M fans doing that sway.
Yeah, that's sawing him off. I know.
Unbelievable to be disrespected by the Casey Smiths of the world in your own house. That is as low. I maybe would have walked down and fired him at the spot, but again, the AD shouldn't be getting off the hook. That's my moral. He's got to go too. You got to take responsibility. Anybody who hired this should be part of the deal. When a guy signs a contract like he did with Brian Kelly and the buyout, if you're going to fire the coach, the AD automatically has to get fired too. That's how it should work. You don't get to scapegoat the guy. You're just as culpable as the coach. It's your hire.
This coming from a man who knows a lot about hiring. Coming up next, we got the football.
It never fires anybody.
He don't fire anybody.
Well, that's why.
That's exactly my point.
That's why I didn't say fires. Good. Let's keep it that way, Dave. Please. Please. All right. Coming up next, the football G-Spot. Greg Olsen and Jon Gruden, Dave Portnoy bring you all the biggest moments from the weekend. FS1. We got this. We do it every Monday here on Wake Up Barstool. It is once again time for the Football G-Spot.
Got me feeling icy.
I love football. Knock on wood if you're with me, everybody.
Can I finish my point?
Welcome, guys. I'm feeling good. It's another victory Monday for me. Michigan win. Patriots win. It's feeling like old times. I wake up Monday with a smile on my face. Now, 3 franchises who I feel like, and you guys can throw in someone else if you think, but we're getting to that part of the season, pretender, contender, and you start playing games where you show yourself. It's like, okay, this team's going to hang around and be there. 3 teams that I feel like flunked this test. I'm curious your take, the worst. The Bears. The Bears go into Baltimore. Baltimore is desperate for a win, but they have no Lamar Jackson. He's out. Bears are playing good football. They're starting to look like maybe Caleb Williams coming around, and they look awful. Pittsburgh lead at halftime, end up getting trounced by the Packers. Everyone's wondering, are they a real team? They end up giving up 21 in the fourth quarter. They look like they're positioned now for draft picks. In the Cowboys, who have gone back and forth, decimated by injuries, but then they beat Washington by 20 last week. You're like, is this team okay? They go into Denver and they get annihilated. We'll start with you, Greg. If you have anybody else, who had the worst loss this weekend?
I think of the teams that are in contention, teams that have been kind of been on the rise the last couple of weeks. I think it's Chicago. I think Baltimore's reeling. I think all the controversy of thinking they were getting Lamar potentially back, and then obviously everything that went down on Friday, it turned out he was not as close to being back, and it was all the speculation about the injury report and everything. And then Tyler Huntley plays well, and that's probably the worst the Bears have looked probably in the last 4 or 5 weeks. So I think the Steelers lost. Listen, last night, that game, a lot going on there with Rodgers back playing against the Packers. I think the Packers are for real. I think Jordan Love is for real. So I think that loss, I think a lot of teams are going to lose to Green Bay. You mentioned Dallas. Their offense, I still think, is good. I know they weren't as good yesterday. Dak had some struggles, throwing a couple picks. But, I think Chicago's loss, that's one you got to have. The Ravens couldn't buy a win the first part of the season now. And, that's one they're going to look back on as that NFC North kind of comes into picture at the end of the year. That's one you look back and you're like, you got to beat a team without their starting quarterback that's only won a game up to that point, especially if you think that you're in contention to make a playoff run.
Coach?
Yeah, I like the 3 teams you picked, Dave. Those were bad losses. I throw the Minnesota Vikings in there too. Here's a team that they looked terrible the other night against the Chargers. They got destroyed on both sides of the ball. They have issues now, what they're doing with the quarterback position moving forward. I throw the 49ers in there too. I know Mac Jones has been playing for a while, but the Houston Texans have been invisible on offense. They put 475 yards on this 49er defense. It was a tough day at the office watching a lot of these games yesterday, I'll say.
That's a different question. I didn't have it on the list. I feel like, and people have said it all the time, but if you're just sitting down watching college football on a Saturday, these games, 90% of them are more exciting than these NFL games. These NFL games, few and far between. I don't know if they can serve the play calling, but for me, give me the college football Saturday. Speaking of, Lane Kiffin gets in a little do-to-do with an Oklahoma player after the game. Let's show the clip here. He's talking trash at the end of the game. Coach, how much does that go on with when you were coaching, where you're talking trash with the players on the field?
It goes on quite a bit. I talked trash when I was doing Monday Night Football. I think
what does that mean?
I think it's just part of competing. These players, these guys get up for a game. They got to try to get themselves up for games. They got to get their teammates up for games. Emotions take over sometimes, but I never had a shouting match with a player after a game like that. But I thought Lane Kiffin handled that pretty good. The kid was obviously jawing him during the game, and they hooked up after the game. And I thought Lane, all he had to do was point at the scoreboard. That was a pretty convincing win for the Rebels.
Greg, you ever go at it with a coach?
Not after a game. I've had a couple back and forths, and again, nothing overly dramatic or personal, but Sean Payton was one that used to, he was not afraid to get into it. You ended up on their sideline, a controversial play, a catch. He was not afraid to kind of go back and forth with players. But again, all in good competitive spirit, all in good nature. It is an intense game. These guys are fired up. I actually thought Lane, I agree with Coach, I actually thought Lane handled it really well. He's doing his post-game press conference. It looked, again, that short little clip, it looked like the Oklahoma kid came to him, and then Lane was just kind of paying off what was a day of back and forth and was calm and collected and didn't personally insult the kid or anything. So I actually thought it was good entertainment. I thought it was good spirit. I think people would be shocked the amount of back and forth, the amount of intensity between players, between coaches, players and coaches. Like an NFL sideline, a college football sideline is not for the faint of heart. If you're going to have your feelings hurt, if you're going to be, if you're going to be insulted, it's not the place for you. And I think when the dust settles, everyone goes back to their locker room and you move on pretty fast. But I have no issue with it. I like that Lane is fiery. I like that Lane is competitive. I like that he says what's on his heart and he says what's on his mind and he doesn't give all the PC answers. I would love to play for him. I love everything about him.
They're talking him. We had earlier. So Brian Kelly gone at LSU. Lane is the name that's the top of T-Bob, who is a LSU graduate. LSU. Now I'm sitting T-Bob. I don't know if you can hear me right now.
I got
there's
you.
a guy on this panel, as I'm thinking, looking around, who sometimes gets named in these coach circles. Coach Gruden would absolutely light.
I thought you were talking about me.
I did too.
No, Coach Gruden would absolutely light Louisiana on fire. Imagine this guy down on the bayou.
The funny thing is, and I guess now I have the opportunity to just ask Coach himself, but like when I was in college, there were always rumors about Miles getting fired, Miles going to Michigan, and the first name that we would always hear was Jon Gruden. Coach, were you ever in discussion with LSU in the past to come be the head coach, your agent or anything?
Not that I recall. I don't like what I'm seeing, to be honest with you guys, with all these coaches being fired. It's not even November yet. I know there's a lot of expectations on these guys, but college football is very difficult right now with the transfer portal and the NIL and navigating all this stuff and trying to establish a culture and, getting your coaching staff to stay online with you. It's a crazy world of college football right now, but I hope they find some good replacements out there because some of these teams might be sorry they did what they did.
Coach, I got a question for you. Would you rather be an NFL coordinator or a college head coach right now?
Oh, great question.
I'd probably rather be one of those, I don't know. I'd like to be a head coach. I'd like to give it a shot again. I mean, I sit in a dark room and study tapes most of the days, and I'm not going to try to fuel any rumors or anything like that, but I'll be ready to go if I get another shot. I'm just trying to keep my job I have, T.
Coach, I love you. Listen, Coach, there's no bigger fan of yours than mine. I love you. If you lose to Vanderbilt as the LSU coach and lose at home by 25 to A&M, I would be calling for your head. And that's as somebody who likes you. So Brian Kelly, it was time for him to go. That program had run its course. This isn't year one of the Brian Kelly regime. How many years was this guy
is
there?
year
He's
4.
running the program into the ground.
He's say this, though, Dave. Yes,
he's making crazy videos. Malasek wouldn't let you get out there and make those videos. He'd say, Coach, we're not doing these fake accent things. So I get some coaches short leash. Brian Kelly, time to go. I mean, you wanted him to have more time?
All I'm saying is the SEC is a lot different now than it was 5 years ago. I mean, I look around, I see Texas, I see Oklahoma. The whole landscape of the league is different. And putting together these teams is a hell of a lot different than it is 7 or 8 years ago as well. Brian Kelly's a good coach. I'm sure he'll land on his feet. And I just hate seeing a lot of coaches getting fired before November, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's coach speak. I mean, Greg, what do you think? I don't know how closely you're following that. What do you fired this guy, Brian Kelly?
I have a general rule about firing, and obviously I follow NFL more than I do. I follow college football more and just a fan on Saturdays and whatnot. I don't study the landscape, the carousels, who are the next coaches. My general rule is, though, I think teams are so quick to fire. And then the question becomes, okay, fine, fire the guy that you don't want anymore, but are you confident that you can guarantee you're going to find someone better? And I think that's always the question you have to ask, and especially at the NFL position where you see all these guys, you get a quick hook, and then the guy they replace him with, sometimes often is worse. So I think that's a huge part that people have to take a step back. Fan bases, ownership in the NFL, or obviously ADs in the college game. So I do think the challenge going on right now is because there are so many top jobs available. There, Florida, Arkansas, Penn State. I mean, we got major college football programs that need to find this. And are you telling me there's 5 really better coaches than Brian Kelly and James Franklin and some of these guys that have been doing this for a long time? Or maybe you can find 1, or you can find 5. You can be able to replace all of these programs at once. Arkansas, another SEC school that has big aspirations. So I think a big challenge is going to be the top coach, whoever that is deemed as the number 1 target. He's going to be the number 1 target for a handful of teams, and only one of you are going to get him. So now the question is, what do you do if you don't get the star of this, recruiting class, so to speak? And is, when the dust settles, are you better off than you were 3 months earlier? I don't know that every team can make that guarantee. Firing always seems like the answer in the moment. I think you have to see over the next 6 to 12 months whether or not that firing actually led to you getting better, or did you just stroke a big check and start all over again?
Yeah, no, I don't want to rehash it, but the another question which we discussed in the first segment, in LSU's case, the guy who hired Jimbo Fisher at A&M, total disaster, and hired Brian Kelly, he's still there. So he's still the one making the decision. I think he should be fired too. You mentioned the ownership. Well, you laugh because, what's going to change? This guy doesn't know how to hire a head coach. Ownership. You mentioned ownership. You got the Jets owner. Woody, what's his name? Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson. Ambassador to Europe, I think, at one point, or London or something like that. Now he comes out, the Jets, one of the worst franchises in the history of football. Just they're one of the worst franchises. They hadn't won a game. He comes out, kills the coach. They turn around, get a win. What are you guys thinking? I know Coach Gruden, you've played for some of the craziest owner, maybe Al Davis, the Davises that's ever lived. So what do you do when the owner gets involved like that? Does that hurt the locker room, help the locker room? You say, just keep that out. How do you deal with that?
Well, it's tough. I mean, obviously you got to have a thick skin, but when your owner talks to the media, like the owner of the Jets did, that can be really painful, and it can be humiliating, and it can really be toxic. I give the Jets credit, man. I mean, they went on the road to Cincinnati and beat the Bengals, coming off a huge win against the Steelers. They had every reason to pack it in and quit. They were behind a couple scores, and they found a way to get it done. I give Aaron Glenn, I give the Jet players a lot of credit, but Woody Johnson, I think he's the guy that had that long necklace on last year during one of the games. Some owners, they got a lot more firepower, I guess, with the media than others. Jerry Jones is pretty outspoken. Lets you know, I think he got after the Cowboys a little bit yesterday too, Dave. But Al Davis, he wouldn't necessarily go to the media. He would be knocking on my door and calling me at midnight if he had a problem.
Well, did you respect that more?
I do. I like when you handle it behind closed doors. I think we talked about Tua a couple weeks ago, saying some things in the media that you probably regret saying the next day. I'm sure Woody Johnson, to a degree, doesn't probably understand how the media can take it and run with it. But I do think he probably regrets some of those statements. But I like it handled a lot better behind closed doors. I think that's the best way in the long run.
Greg?
Yeah, I think the NFL is built on speaking the truth, right? You have to be honest with your players. You have to be honest with your coaches in all different aspects of the relationships across the board. You have to be able to be honest. And if guys are going to be sensitive and personal, again, like I said earlier, kind of joking about Lane Kiffin, like it's just not the sport for you. But having said all of that, you are going to have to put out so many fires as a player, as a coach, especially a team that hadn't yet won a game. You got a relatively young quarterback in Justin Fields who is up and down. Is he the starter? Is he going to be replaced? And then for ownership to go out and just make the biggest fire of it all, which is to criticize, coach, quarterback, you can be honest. You can be a leader that's going to go directly, to Coach's point, like call Aaron Glenn directly. You want to sit down with Justin Fields and tell him exactly what the expectations are. You should, as the owner, as the coach, as any position of power, the format and the messaging is just so critical in the NFL because you are going to have noise, and especially in New York. To add gas to the fire that you're creating and just make it worse is really not in anybody's best interest. That locker room already has enough challenges. That head coach already has enough headaches. Justin Fields was very honest, and I give him a lot of credit, not only to win that game, the team to rally to score 39 points when I don't think they scored 39 points in the last 3 games. He was very honest in his post-game presser. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but he's like, I had a dark week. I spent time, by myself in my closet. I was praying. He was emotional about it after the game. People don't realize just how these guys are affected
he
by
said he was
what's
in
said.
his closet.
Yeah, he said he had a dark moment. It was a very personal press conference. Did you guys see it?
Crying.
Yeah.
He said he went into it. Yeah,
he was,
I actually
crying
saw the headline, and I thought he was being facetious, dead serious. I thought he was doing it the other way, oh, I don't care what the owner says, but he was being serious.
I thought he was being serious.
I
thought he was being serious. So all of that to say, I give the Jets a lot of credit. I do think in frustrating times, we've all said things in post-game open locker room, post-game press conferences that the next day you're like, was it the truth? Yes. Did it have to be said in that format? Probably not. And now,
and also Woody doesn't exactly he has a franchise of ineptitude. So, I mean, there's some owners maybe where you put a little respect on their name. It's well, this guy's running a pretty good franchise, doesn't speak that much. When you're the New York Jets, I don't know that you care. That's why I thought he was facetious. What do I care what this guy says? This guy has run this franchise into the ground. So, it was a good win, and it brings up, we haven't talked the other side of that win. The Cincinnati Bengals, they bring in Flacco, and that's a franchise. I don't even know what to put the Bengals into. There's another horrific franchise, but finally it looks like they got the guy in Burrow, right? They make a Super Bowl. They look like they're knocking on the door. Now, he continually is getting hurt, and whether his career will be one that he couldn't stay on the field, time will tell. But that is a franchise, and speaking as a fan, they were getting cocky. They were getting obnoxious. It's these Bengal fans, they're talking a lot of trash. They're doing the who day all over. To lose that game, their season's over again. I don't know what to think about these Bengals because it's one thing to have no hope, but to have hope and then have it crushed, I guess as long as they have Burrow, they'll be next year. But that is a franchise, man, that looks like they're going back down to the depths of the ocean.
Hey, how smart does Mike?
Bengals,
go ahead, Coach.
Greg. I say the Cincinnati Bengals, defensively have drafted a lot of players over the last several years. Their philosophy obviously is draft and develop, kind of like Green Bay. This defense has not developed. I mean, they got a lot of high picks on every level of that defense. They just fired Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator. Guess where he is right now calling them up? He's with the 7-1 Colts. So you bring Al Golden. Al Golden's a good coach. But if you don't have players, I don't care what kind of coach you are. And I go back to some of these college coaches. These players are getting paid a lot of money. Some of these players got to play a lot better. And some of these players got to quit getting hurt. Hell, there's about 10 guys on every team that don't even play. And we sit here and bitch about the coach. Let's fire him every day. I say we get some of these trainers run out of the league and get some of these players to give back their money because they got to play better. But the Bengals defense, that was disgusting. That was a terrible effort yesterday. 500 yards versus the Jets. And the Jets don't have a receiver that I can name. I can't name their wide receivers. And they got gashed, and they weren't ready to play. And offensively, their offensive line, they haven't given an offensive lineman a second contract since Clint Bowling. I mean, this is a bunch of rental properties on the offensive line, and Burrow's hurt every year, it seems. So, we're rambling. But I'm from Ohio, and these Bengals kicked me off yesterday.
All right, Greg.
And yes, defensively is clearly their issue. Every time I see the Bengals, though, all I think about is how right Mike Tomlin was, though. And I know they didn't win this game, but Tomlin, before they beat Pittsburgh last week, he's like, I don't know, maybe the Browns are smarter. They shipped out a guy that was good enough to be their week 1 starter, and they send Flacco, and they end up beating Pittsburgh. They come to life on offense. Jamar Chase catches 500 passes. And listen, I know they lost. They scored 38 points. So, that when I think of the Bengals, whether their season is done or not, all I think about is Mike Tomlin was dead right. Why would you trade a quarterback like Flacco, give life to a team that was utterly used? They were horrible on offense and defense, gave them life at quarterback following Burrow getting hurt, and they end up beating Pittsburgh. And then, of course, they lose a shootout here to a Jets team that hadn't scored 39 in a long time. So, yeah, the future there is going to be all dependent upon can they just get status quo and average at defense. Because offensively, they're going to score points. They got two of the best receivers in the league. When Burrow does come back, or Flacco, whoever's at quarterback, score a lot of points. You're not going to give up 30 plus a game and think you're going to make much of a run in the NFL. That's just not going to happen. But I just find it funny that Tomlin called.
Yeah, not just 30. You got to put an asterisk 30 to the New York Jets. You got a guy who I know are being delicate about it, but to a quarterback who you guys just said was sitting in a dark closet crying because the owner, I don't want my quarterback to. Drake May is not sitting in a dark closet crying to himself. Drake May is out there throwing touchdowns. So I know we want to be delicate about it. I don't like hearing my quarterback has lost. You know what? I lost the 4th of July races in my town. You have 4th of July races as little kids. You're like 7, 8 years old. It's like a 40-yard dash. I came in second one year. I slipped. I locked myself in a closet and cried. I was 6 years old. Thank you guys for coming on the show. We'll get you next week. I don't want my quarterback crying in dark closets. Get mad. Don't cry in dark closets.
Oh, man. Thank you. That is the Football G-Spot. Huge shout out to Greg Olsen, Jon Gruden. We got Shredline coming up next hour. Let's get into Sunday Night Football and
crying in closets.
Here on
grown man.
Are we going to
talk
about
grown man? You don't go into a closet.
Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. That whole time, for about 30 seconds, we saw Dave, I believe, talking crap to Brandon, but we could not hear him.
I wasn't talking crap. We were talking about Mississippi State game, which was just unbelievable, and Walker was at the game. But, and I'm live streaming Michigan. And I'm in a new house, so I have one room that has multiple TVs, all the games on. I bet Mississippi State's plus 7.5, and they're rolling. I mean, they're up 3 scores.
Rolling.
Absolutely game over. I move into the streaming room that just is Michigan, big TV. I just want to lock in on Michigan. My phone, I'm getting texts and tweets. Oh my God, you gotta see Brandon Walker. He's crying on TV. I go, this guy's crying tears of joy. He's that happy. I look at my phone. I go, what the hell happened? I thought it was a misprint.
I was never crying. Okay. I was dead inside and my life was.
Hey, there's Brandon right there.
First of all,
unbelievable that he's in the picture. Every moment, the guy running the kickback runs. Walker almost got one of those personal fouls for being on the field. He was so close to him. And then the catch is in his face. And to credit to Walker, he knew it. He said it right because he may have gotten his foot in right there. Yep. He knew the play was made. Just an absolutely unreal collapse right in Brandon Walker's face. I'm even seeing like that guy, Josh Pate, that college football guy, saw a tweet for him. He's like, y'all, nobody told me they did it right in his face. I mean, this is unbelievable. The serendipity of the fact I started streaming, so I'm live for it. Every big play is right in his face. I can't tell you how everything had to break perfectly for this.
Everything had to break perfectly up 17 minutes with 9 minutes, or 17 points with 9 minutes to go. We got a 4th down stop. We got a 4th down stop of 17 points.
I know.
Roughing the passer, and every single thing had to break perfectly. My one takeaway right here is I think referees are terrible. I don't know how a college official, I stood right there and I looked down and said, wow, I think he caught that ball. I should be an official. I should be a ref. I am more professional than anybody that got, it sucked. I spent all yesterday in a dark closet praying about this, but I am here now and I'm ready to go. I
love the clip of you running down the sidelines, pulling up your shorts with the number 1 in the air. I mean,
that was to go up 17 points with 10 minutes to go.
That was the second time to go up 17 points.
I don't know who's this kid over here, by the way. This kid was stunned.
That's Jake Mangold.
That's Major League Baseball player Jake Mangold.
The SEC's all-time hits leader.
He was absolutely, the look he gave you right there at the end, stunned beyond belief.
And then you see who was running with me? Hardy, the country music star, was running with me. Like, we were all living high. If that was to go up 17 points with 10 minutes to go, we're so close. We're so close. Why do we keep... The 3 of the most heartbreaking losses of my entire life have happened in the last month.
It's falling down. Unbelievable.
I forgot my belt that morning. I'm trying to run. This is college football. I'm just trying to get down there.
Hardy run. Oh, it's fantastic. Hey, look, Brandon, I don't know, man. I tried to make you feel better Saturday, and you were very
You were
kind
being
to me.
patronizing. That's what you were doing.
Brandon,
At least Dave is honest about who he is.
I was not being patronizing.
Dave Portnoy is honest about who he is. Dave Portnoy lives to stick his thumb in my eye, and that's fine. You just casually, passive-aggressively saying, "Oh, Brandon, you're okay. You're okay. I'm just going to slip my thumb in your eye,
That's
and
not true.
I'm just going to poke you
not
right
true.
there." At least Dave's going to do it honestly.
That groan you had, by the way, it couldn't have worked out perfectly. I didn't realize at first when I called you, you couldn't hear me. You didn't know who it was. And somebody says, "Hey, Dave's on the phone." You go, "Dave who?" They go, "Dave Portnoy." You go, "Ugh." You made a little noise. It was unbelievable. I was worried about you. So I do resent you saying that I don't care. I'm honest with it. Nobody should go through that type of pain that you had on that night.
Stop immediately saying, "Oh, I did care about you." You got me on FaceTime. You got me on the stream, and you were like, "Hey, man, I care about you. I was just checking." I said 3 words, and you covered your mouth and giggled like a little schoolgirl, just like you're doing right now. Look at your smirk on your face right now.
There's 2 things can be true. You can care about somebody, but you can find the humor and just the absurdity of the moment, which is what I did. I couldn't believe it was going on. And we're a content company. It so happened I was also live streaming at the time of this Titanic collapse. And people are like, "You got to get him on. We got to see what he's saying." I said to Austin, who was with me, I go, "I don't want to let him be. I don't want to do this." But then it's like, we're running a content company. Fine, I'll do it. And I found it funny you couldn't hear me. So I was like, "Can't hear me."
That's why he was laughing, Brandon. He found it funny he couldn't hear you. It's an honest misunderstanding.
Also,
you have that clip?
The thing is, like, right after the game, and we were walking back to the car. It started raining, and I was just walking in the rain. You know, you just ever out in the rain sad and just want it to rain more?
Yeah,
I was walking in the rain, then we got stuck in traffic for 2 hours, so we're stuck in a car in an SUV in a parking lot that's not moving, and I'm just sitting there questioning all my life decisions, and then my phone rings and it's Dave Portnoy, and I just wanted to quit. There I am. Look at the rain.
Yeah, and this was not the clip, but I meant the other one you couldn't hear. But I will say, it also hasn't mentioned the fact you're just wearing this Beat Texas pin. It adds a little bit of like panache to the whole thing that you just, with this cute little Beat Texas. And I imagine at Mississippi State, I don't know how many people you guys get, like how big that stadium. What's it, 14,000, 10,000, however big it is.
62,000. It's a lot.
I assume it's not a big stadium. All collectively, like, just knowing, like, "Oh, that happened again." Like, probably people were devastated, but not surprised.
Do we have to go to break?
All right, we have to go to break. We can talk about it more later.
Didn't even get to my top 10.
You still got to get to the top 10. All that. Hour 2 next. Coming up. Wake Up Barstool.
You said we're going to my
we've
top 10.
already done this exact segment this year.
Twice.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back. Hour 2 of Wake Up Barstool. Hope you're having a great morning. Grab a coffee. Come hang out with us. Dave Portnoy, Brandon Walker. We got Meek Phil, Liam Blutman here, and it's time to talk some college football. We hashed through some of Brandon's pain this week, and who knows, it might come back up. You never know with these two. Right now, though, let's look at the #1 college football personality, Brandon Walker's brand new top 10.
Yeah, so a little different this week. I was in a dark place, and I was struggling to fill out my top 10. #1, obviously, Ohio State. 2, Indiana. Listen, Indiana,
obviously,
very impressive Saturday against a resurgent UCLA team, a 3-0 UCLA team, beat them 56-6. Texas A&M with their most impressive win of the season, going to Tiger Stadium and ending Brian Kelly and looking incredible after the half. Alabama keeps plugging along. Oregon with a sleepy game. Georgia keeps plugging along. And then I kind of delved off into other territory. It says none of this matters.
Okay, at 7 we have F this. At 8 we have we're all gonna.
Yeah.
And then at 9 we have die anyway.
Nothing we're doing right now matters at all. And then BYU.
BYU is great, dude. I freaking love Bear Bachman.
Yeah, they go on the road. They beat Iowa State. So they're right behind die anyway.
I don't see Ole Miss on that list.
Correct. There's only 10 teams, dumbass.
Well, I see 7 teams.
Listen, BYU.
No,
Dumbass is fine.
It's not
Really?
FCC. Dumbass is okay, Liam. It's not
I'm
an FCC
sorry.
violation. A little quick on the draw there, bloody.
A&M won a huge win, obviously, but BYU. I mean, I went on a rant about BYU on Big Noon. They're undefeated. This was a trap game that even I thought there's a good chance they lose at Iowa State after coming off the Holy War, which is a wildly, emotional, hate-filled game. BYU falls behind by, I think, 2 scores.
24 to 10. 24
and absolutely trounces them. Put some respect on BYU in the Big 12. They should be far higher than 10 to me. They're a number 4 team in the country to me, undefeated. And again, I'll say it. I said it before. The Big 12 gets no respect. If you look at the Big 12's champion last year, it's Arizona State. Arizona State could have won the national title last year. They were right there against the big boys. So 8-0 BYU, game after game, beating good teams. Utah went out, beat Colorado by 100. BYU can play with anybody. Put BYU at 4 right now, behind A&M for me, because they deserve it.
BYU to me is, as a program, the ultimate sum is greater than the whole of its parts program. Like, they're so consistent. What Kalani Sitake's built every single year, they outperform expectation from, like, the raw talent they have on their roster. I mean, they lose their quarterback, Jake Retzloff, in the offseason, and all of a sudden here, Bear Bachmeier was 22 of 35, 307, 2 tuds. He's the first BYU quarterback to ever throw, he's the first quarterback to surpass 300 yards against Iowa State in 22 games.
Yeah, and listen, you can always do those, like you see a True Detective and you're stringing things across and trying to make sense of common opponents and things like that. But this Iowa State team, they beat Iowa in Ames. They beat a good Big Ten team. So for BYU to go on the road and really trounce them, huge respect. They aren't getting the respect. They weren't even in the top 10 last week with 6 teams. There were 6 teams in the top 10 last week who had a loss. BYU undefeated. They go and prove it again in a spot where almost everybody, including kind of me, thought they're going to trip up. But that's why you play the games on the field. That's why they deserve to be up there. And as long as they keep winning, put them up there. Clear top 4 separated right now. Indiana's, for me, 1 because the win at Oregon, even though Oregon didn't look good again. Ohio State, A&M, BYU. There's your top 4, and it's pretty clear to me.
I'm glad that you said BYU proved it again, because people will continue to doubt that program. And we're going 2 straight years now of BYU consistently winning the trap game, the games with the tricky spread that you sniff out and say, well, this is where they'll fall. This is where they'll falter, because the odds makers know something. And every single time BYU comes up with something, they make the right play when they need it every single time. They are dependable. They are gritty. They are physical. They scheme up really well offensively. They make the most out of their playmakers, and they did something bold in the offseason. They went to the true freshman quarterback, and they said, Bear Bachmeier impressed him so much in camp, there was no way that they could possibly bench him and redshirt him. Bear Bachmeier made his mark from the jump. That's a late transfer they get from Stanford, and it's so impressive what Sitake's been able to do at BYU, and I hate that it's always just, well, they're BYU, they're not that good.
It's the entire conference.
It's the entire conference, yeah.
Yeah, it's the entire conference. And again, I hate broken record, but Arizona State, who got no respect, proved they could play with anybody last year. They were literally a 4th down play away from beating Texas and advancing. So this BYU team is being slept on, and the conference gets slept on. It's this era of parity. Iowa State, a lot of teams go in and lose to Iowa State last Saturday. BYU did not.
And you mentioned Indiana. Indiana is the number 1 team. Is something that I'd be completely fine with. I don't really care to hash it out. Like, it'll solve itself over time. But what I do want to highlight is, to me, how quickly Indiana has reached this level of self-assuredness, where their ability to consistently beat the hell out of the teams that they are supposed to be better than. Like, if you're wondering, okay, how do we justify Cignetti's contract? How do we feel confident about him living up to that number going forward? That has to be one of the core pillars of success. When Indiana is supposed to be better than you, they leave no doubt. And really, the only thing that was missing was winning the big games, and now they beat Oregon.
Well, that comes from the top. The self-assuredness, the confidence, it comes from Cignetti. Now,
Yeah.
Cignetti walked into this job, the first thing he said was, I win, Google me. The first thing he did was go on the court at Indiana basketball and said, F Michigan, F Ohio State.
Yeah.
And when it comes time to back that up, and when it comes time for this team to back it up, they're following the lead of their coach. Now, he is very aggressive. He's very in your face. But if you're going to turn around Indiana and take a bottom dweller to the top, that's how you got to do it. That's exactly what he did.
Reminds me of this reminds me of an old like Kate McNown UCLA winning by 50. Was it Kinjana Carter and Kerry Collins at Penn State? Like when they were better, they won by 50. You don't have many of those teams, but nobody is putting up consistent whoopings right now like Indiana. Are they going to win the national title? Who knows? But they can clearly play with anybody, and they're rightfully number 2, number 1. Like I agree with you, T-Bob. It'll figure itself out. But yeah, they're the real deal, no doubt. I got invited to Mendoza's pig roast, by the way. I thought that was nice. He was having a pig roast at Fernando at his house after the game that I got invited to. So thank you, Fernando.
Oh, what kind of where's Fernando's family from? What kind of pig roast we talking? Down in Cajun country, we do boucheries. Okay, so like a Cajun pig roast.
You do what?
Boucheries. It's a pig roast.
He's from Florida, isn't he?
Miami. There you go. So it's all likelihood of Cuban pig. Oh, that sounds great.
I actually asked, I go, what happens if they lose? They say the pig will be eaten no matter what.
It's a lot of work, dude. And then you ever had fresh pig brain straight out the skull?
No, can't say I haven't. Nope.
It's got like a buttery type of texture.
No.
And it's actually quite good, dude. When it's
too early on a Monday morning for this.
What about like some blood sausage?
I've had that. That's fine.
Or like some blood pudding.
I don't know, T-Bob.
Okay, well, it's different how you kill the ant. Whatever, doesn't matter. Ole Miss, one of the other big winners of the weekend. Ole Miss, just as much as I hate it, speaking of like doing something they'd never done before, Lane Kiffin's first ever road ranked win, and doing it in a game in which the line was so incredibly stinky that it was pushing everybody to the Oklahoma side of the equation. So Ole Miss proving the odds makers wrong.
Yeah, and I don't know why.
Oklahoma may not be great.
Yeah, Oklahoma was the biggest fraud in this country. But I don't know why I fell for Oklahoma last week, because in this SEC right now, it is so narrow at the top. It is so narrow between the Georgias and the Alabamas. Everybody's in close games every single week, and it's about finishing games. And Lane Kiffin is maybe the best coach in the entire conference right now. So when you're going on the road, when you're in these close games, give me the team with the better coach. And that's almost always going to be Ole Miss until Lane Kiffin leaves. And I need him to leave now. I need him to leave tomorrow.
So we have the number 1 quarterback evaluator in the country on the show, right, Dave? That's you?
Correct, yes.
Yes, okay. Am I crazy to say that I think that Trinidad Chambliss is not the talent that Jackson Dart is, but is a better college quarterback than Jackson Dart was?
So another thing that I am very honest about, I haven't watched him play enough to make that assessment. Okay. So I don't want to just throw it out there. Obviously, Ole Miss has it rolling, but again, as somebody who said this many times and has been laughed at and mocked for many weeks, watch out for Vanderbilt. And they're going on the road to Texas, and everyone's going to pick Texas. I think the opening line, I thought Texas -3.5. Watch out for this Vanderbilt team. They're not playing this season to get one big win. They could have easily lost to Missouri. They figured out a way to get it done. They always seem to figure out, with the exception of that Bama, this Vanderbilt team. I've been saying it. People, Vandy, they're going to fall apart. They got to run the gauntlet. I have been telling you about Vandy the whole season, and they're going to go in, and they're going to beat Texas next week, and they're now going to be 8-1. Watch out for this Vandy team. They're well coached. Their defense was flying around the other day. And Pavia will make plays when they have to. Walker, why? Because you know I'm right.
Brandon, one quick thought on Vandy before we go to break.
Texas isn't very good.
Texas
isn't very good. I think Vanderbilt will beat Texas. I mean, Texas is there for the taking. The defense is overrated. They're not very good offensively. Any team worth their salt ought to beat Texas. Vanderbilt's probably going to beat Texas, and I don't know.
Texas, though, they're pretty good at closing, when they got to have a play.
Imagine sitting here, if we had this show 3 years ago, I'm sitting here with T-Bob from LSU, and I'm talking with a little cowbell, and I'm sitting here, and I go, boys, Vanderbilt's going to be a better program than both your programs. You guys would have laughed me out of it, but it's true.
You can go ahead and put them ahead of your Michigan Wolverines, too.
Why?
Okay, hold on. They're better right now. No.
If they're a better program than LSU, they're definitely a better program than Michigan right now.
We don't have time for this.
Shot.
Oh, God.
We won the national championship 2 years ago.
Yeah, asterisk.
Last night, Sunday Night Football, Jordan Love dominated, and it's kind of funny. I feel like we fell off the Packers, and now you look up, they're 5-1-1. Like, are they actually the class of the NFC?
I think they're a really good team. We talked about Aaron Rodgers winning his Super Bowl with Green Bay when he was 27. Brett Favre won it when he was 27. And guess what? Jordan Love's going to be 27 in a couple weeks. He's experienced. He's been in the same system for a while. They can run the ball with Jacobs, and they have a closer in Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary. I think they're as good as anybody in the NFC. I think it's going to be them in Philly and Tampa.
No, Detroit. So they got
Detroit.
one loss. Who did
They lost
the
to the
Packers
Browns.
lose to?
They lost to the Browns.
Oh, they lost to the Cleveland Browns.
Okay,
It's
God.
funny because in between the break, Coach Gruden was trying to discredit the Patriots for beating the Browns, saying, who they beat? The Browns. Oh, but the Browns did beat the Packers. See, in this league, and nobody knows it better than me, although Coach should know it's hard to get W's. I don't care who you're playing. Everyone's paid. So when you see a team like the New England Patriots go out and absolutely dismantle one of the better defenses in the league, what's his name, got 5 million sacks. I don't care. Who cares? We put up 30 points, and this Drake May, I'm going to read to you right now. I put this out. Here's my NFL top 10 QB ratings this year. This is not a lifetime achievement award, okay? This is this year, who would I want under center? I don't care. You're down 4, 2 minutes in the game. Number 1, Drake May. Number 2, Josh Allen. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes. 4, Baker Mayfield. 5, Jared Goff. 6, Dak Prescott. 7, Daniel Jones. 8, Matt Stafford. 9, Sam Darnold. 10, I'm putting Love on. I made the list before the end. But this Drake May, I tell you, I have that same feeling when I watched Brady early in his career, where I know I'm watching greatness. I know I'm watching a Hall of Famer. I know I'm watching a minimum 4 Super Bowl winning quarterback. He is that good. The only thing, knock on wood, he hasn't learned how to slide that great yet. But man, he runs away from defenders. He runs when he has to. He throws the ball 70 yards like this. Like he's just putting he's got a shopping cart. He's got a loaf of wheat bread. He's just throwing it an inch into his cart, except the thing goes zoom 70 yards. And he's on the nose, on the button with every throw. If you're redrafting this class with Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, there is no doubt who is going number 1. It's Drake May. The Patriots hit an absolute home run, and they are arguably.
Stop! Yes, right, Coach. Stop.
There is nothing that I have said that is an exaggeration. He is that good. I am studying. I'm not even enjoying the game.
Still going.
I have a clipboard out.
Here's a question for you. How about a question? Can anybody else have a? How about a question for you? How come the North Carolina Tar Heels don't even talk about Drake May like he went to the freaking school? Where are you on that, Dave? And how do you have a quarterback list after 8 games? I mean, the weather hasn't even gotten bad yet. Pretty soon it's going to be sleeting and snowing and really lousy. That's why you people live up there. Let's see how he plays in the really bad weather.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Listen, Tom Brady was a Cali kid. He got used to it.
When you beat Cleveland after they've had a fire sale on their team, you beat the Titans, the Saints, the Panthers, and the Dolphins, and you lose to the Raiders. I'm not ready
at Buffalo.
The Hall of Fame
keep
yet.
leaving out at Buffalo, and Raiders was week 1, and we fumbled 10 times going in against Pittsburgh. I'm telling you, you can doubt this kid. This kid is spectacular. I've never seen. Do we have the new shirts? Can we put the new shirts up? Do we have the shirts I put on sale yesterday? I'm gay for May.
Coach, gay for May, Dave Portnoy. Coach, do you agree with
buy
Dave?
him on the store right now. I'm gay for May.
Nobody doubts Drake May. You have him on a list over Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen.
Hey, we went into Buffalo and we beat Josh Allen, didn't we? And he outplayed him. I said it's not a lifetime achievement award.
Coach, do you agree with Dave's assessment?
There we go. On sale now.
How can you disagree with Portnoy? Of course I agree with everything he says.
Oh.
What a great freaking viewpoint.
Coach, it's a 4 Super Bowl quarterback. He just told you through 8 games. I mean, it's 4 Super Bowls. Easy.
Well, I've lived through it. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like.
He does look like Tom Brady right now with wheels, and that's a scary combination.
He
He does
does.
look really good. He does look really
He's a good quarterback. Can we wait to put him over Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes? Can we
All
wait?
right, Walker. Walker, if you're redrafting that class with Jaden, with Drake, with Caleb, with Bo Nix, who you taking first if you're starting a team?
I mean, I still think Jaden Daniels is off to a hell of a start in his career. It's one of those two. He goes over Caleb Williams, but like Bo Nix is pretty damn good too. Bo Nix is pretty damn good too.
Broncos beat up on the Cowboys yesterday.
There's a bunch of good quarterbacks in that
Who
class.
are you drafting?
It's
Who are
not
you
a slam dunk. I'm taking Drake May number 1. Jaden Daniels is still very good.
You can't take multiple. I'm asking you, who are you taking?
Jaden Daniels.
Bullshit.
No, it didn't get through. I think he got edited.
He didn't finish it.
He didn't finish
He didn't
it.
complete
I
the
didn't
catch.
finish. I said bull.
He didn't
He said
complete the
bull.
catch.
He said bullshit.
That is a total lie. Coach, who are you taking?
Coach, who are you drafted?
I'm taking Drake May.
Damn it, Coach. I thought we were on the same team.
I'm telling you, this guy is spectacular. I can't wait. I don't know whether to set my alarm for Saturdays or Sundays now. Do I wait for Michigan to go whoop up on Purdue, or do I wait for the Patriot game? It's a great time in my football life again. I love it.
Now, wait a minute. Michigan, you've spent multiple Saturdays this year in a dark car with a selfie video going, I hate to tell you guys, but we're just not very good right now. We're not
hates
very
Sharon
good right
Moore.
now. So don't
He
act
hates Sharon
like
Moore.
you're waking up on Saturdays just because
I
you
don't
got to the
hate
bad
Sharon
part of the Big Ten schedule.
Yeah, so I will say we're in the bad part of the Big Ten schedule, so you got to get your licking when the food is good until we play Ohio. And who knows? You got to keep improving. The kid's a young quarterback. I didn't like how he looked against Michigan State, but a win is a win in a rivalry game.
You know, when I was, I've been a fan my whole life. We've always been very proud of players that came from our school. Anybody that comes from Dayton, we celebrate them. I mean, I don't understand why the North Carolina Tar Heels don't even give Drake May any publicity. I want to hear that from you, Dave. What's up with that?
Well, there's obviously some animosity between Belichick and the Patriots organization. No doubt about that. I believe, be sitting in Tampa. I'm going to go to the Tampa Patriots game as an invite to Mr. Kraft. So I think I'll be there to watch Drake May light the world on fire there. But I will say, watch out for North Carolina. They have gotten better by leaps and bounds the last 2 weeks. They're very close to my pick of the week this week. I think who they playing is, I forget who they're playing. I think they're going to win the game. Syracuse, at Syracuse. Ooh. So watch out.
Can't wait for that one. I cannot wait for that one.
Coach Gruden, you're the man.
Let's go.
Okay. Coach, thank you so much for another Shred
Right,
Live.
let's go. Let's go.
When we get back, more NFL, more college. Don't go anywhere. More Wake Up Barstool here on FS1. Here it is, guys. It's that time. Davey Dre, Trader Global. It is time for stock up or stock down. Who are you buying? Who are you selling this week? Dave, take it away.
Yeah, so first of all, we do this at 9:30 a.m. That's when the market opens. So I'm usually doing the day trader. We'll turn it to sports. I got a couple. Stocks up. Alex McPherson, Auburn field goal kicker. I ripped him apart last week, right? Because he missed 1 million field goals. Everyone said he was missing a colon, had all these health issues. I think he was 6 for 6 for Auburn. So credit to me and him. He bounces back. I get credit for motivating him. BYU. Clearly up. Everyone doubted him. Trap game. We talked about it. They win. Number 4 team in the country. Brandon Walker, for me, stock up. Yes, his team lost, but he was the center of the college football universe, his misery. So yes, even though It's bad for him and his life. It's good for his brand when people think funny losers. I think somebody called you Stingray 2.0, which I thought was a little bit nasty. But they said every time he shows up, they lose in heartbreaking fashion. Imagine Walker Stingray 2.0. I laughed out loud when I saw that. So those are my stocks up. Stocks down. Brian Kelly fired. AD should be fired. Steelers down. Bengals down. Cowboys down. Bears fans, you missed on your quarterback. They're down. That's who won and lost the week for me. Stingray 2.0. Brutal.
All right. My stock up. First of all,
I don't even want to think he got in trouble.
My first stock up is going to be to Live Event Lisa. There's Bradley Cooper, her dog. Live Event Lisa, I'm sorry, I just threw your set, but I got mad at him.
Yeah, I don't think you can even see it on the TV. There's pumpkins everywhere.
There's pumpkins everywhere, and if Dave gets to talk again, all right, sure, that happened. Fine, whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But my stock up, Starkville, Mississippi.
Stingray 2.0 rattled him to the core.
No, now there's candy everywhere.
Oh, yeah, like that's the worst thing in the world between me and you.
I love Almond Joy.
All right, anyway, stock up. Starkville, Mississippi was fantastic this weekend. We had the perfect weather, the perfect 62,000 people. The cowbells were going strong. And for 58 minutes, my God, did we all have a good time. One of the most underrated gyms in all the country. It was a beautiful place. I went to Two Brothers. I went to Anthony's. I had a Creole ribeye. My God, Starkville, Mississippi, you got to get down there. It's a fantastic place. My stock down, the Oklahoma Sooners. They're not very good. Their defense was getting by on a lie. They had not played a good offense yet. Ole Miss comes in there and just runs up and down the field against them. Oklahoma under Brent Venables just has never really gotten to where they need to get to. They're going to finish 8-4 this year. And is Oklahoma a program that's going to settle for 8-4? Everybody's firing their coach. LSU's going to go 8-4. They're firing their coach. Penn State's going to go 8-4 or 7-5, whatever they're going to go. They're firing their coach. Oklahoma's settling for Brent Venables. They're going to lose at Tennessee. They're going to lose at Alabama. Like, this is a proud team that has walked in the SEC and just said they are content with being an also-ran, and that is crazy to me. Stock down Oklahoma.
All right, it is my turn to give you some investment.
There's crap everywhere in here, T-Bob.
Yeah. You have completely ruined the studio. But I did get an Almond Joy, my favorite candy. It's my turn.
Stock down Almond Joy, the worst candy.
Whose favorite candy is Almond Joy?
It's the best candy, guys.
Oh, my
Stock
God.
way down. When we used to trade candy at the end, I would trade 13 mini Almond Joys for 1 2-bar Kit Kat.
So what does that make me? The richest man in the world.
I guess if you like the worst candy, good for you.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants their Almond Joys. It's legitimately my favorite. I bathe in them around Halloween time. I get all the runoff. Look, in the, what do they say? One man's trash is another man's treasure. You could call me the garbage king. So I'm going to give you all some good investment advice here, right? Because ideally, we're always looking to buy low. We're looking to sell high. You need to buy Jeff Lebby stock right now. I'm disappointed.
Patronizing.
I'm not. You can't say I'm patronizing every time I say something positive. I know he screwed up some late game situations. He's going to learn. It's his first time head coach. He's a damn good coach. Mississippi State is moving in the right direction. I firmly believe that, okay? The pain of today are the foundations upon which the joys of tomorrow will be built. Saturday, Brandon, I gave you this whole soliloquy about how you should feel good, and then you told me to S your D. Well, sir, I'm not going to do that, okay? What I am going to do is continue to tell you Jeff Lebby's a good coach. Bulldog fans should be happy.
He's such a good coach.
Stock up.
We're this close, man. We're this close.
Stock up.
Yeah, you're back in games. You're back in games. It wasn't too long ago that you guys weren't even competing. Now you're getting your heart ripped out. I don't know what's better or worse, but at least you're in games.
It's better. This is how you build a winning culture. It's better.
I know
it survive.
It's technically better, but this is way worse. This hurts so much.
It hurts worse, but the pain will equal joy eventually. Anyway, stock up. LSU getting out of the Brian Kelly contract, and it may be way stock up, guys, because you've ended a relationship that is clearly, in hindsight, never should have really happened in the first place. But beyond that, I'm going to be very interested to see what this buyout number comes out to. Okay, I have a few different sources.
As long as you have the same AD picking the same guy, I don't know how.
No, not the new contract, Dave. So Brian Kelly's buyout's $53 million. There's rumors swirling that the accepted number.
All right, that's fine. It's money. But if you have the same AD who hired Brian Kelly, who hired Jimbo Fisher, and he's hiring the next guy, I don't know how you can say the stocks. That looks like something that I'd still be selling because there's a lot of room to fall still if you still have the same ID.
Okay, I'm saying stock up because I do not think Brian Kelly's going to get a $50 million buyout. I think it's going to be somewhere in the 21 to 25 range. I could end up being wrong, but that's a lot of money saved. That's a lot of money saved, Dave. That's a lot of money saved. Therefore, the stock goes up because you're not spending as much. Stock down. Now, this is a bold one, guys. And a lot of y'all aren't going to agree with me, and that's fine. But again, I see the market before it moves. I'm selling my Ohio State stock. There's never been a better time to sell Ohio State than right now. This is an uber-talented team with a young quarterback that ultimately will enter the most important portions of the season completely untested. They will have never been punched in the mouth. They will have never tasted blood. They don't know what it's like to get dazed. Eventually, whether it's Indiana in the Big Ten, Indiana in the playoff, maybe Michigan, eventually a haymaker's coming. Somebody's going to land one on the chin, and I think it might send this Ohio State team reeling. So I get it. All you are going to tell me they're just going to cruise to another championship, but I'm not so sure. They're untested. I'm selling
T-Bob, I
Ohio
hate to cut you off, but that rant, you invalidate maybe Michigan. If you don't think Michigan is going to land a punch that makes Ohio State wonder where they are and Ryan Day's beard to go back to its original color, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed we beat them, but of course Michigan is going to test Ohio State. Ohio State hasn't beaten Michigan, I think, in 2,600 days.
We're going to see.
About that.
We're going to see. But either way, I'm selling Ohio State. I don't like the fact that they're going to enter into this postseason after a cakewalk. All right, nerds, what do we got here? Meek, you go first.
My stock up, Addison Barger, the owner of the only pinch hit grand slam in World Series history. Baseball's been going on for over 100 years. That was the first pinch hit grand slam. And I'm also taking stock on the Ravens. They're 2-5. I think they end up getting into the playoffs with Lamar Jackson having the least amount of pressure ever in his career. They're not a bad flyer to take for a Super Bowl. And my stock down, this Pittsburgh Steelers. Last night, you're going to see a down. Last night was the start of the spiral of the Steelers. They're going to be a 9-8 team, typical Mike Tomlin, mediocre Mike. Sorry, Jersey Jerry. Also want to add another stock down I just thought of. Shohei Ohtani, I'm selling my stock on him. I think Game 4 of the World Series will be the worst start of his career in the biggest stage.
Oh, okay.
By the way, just so you know, Meek, still somehow, because that division is so horrific, the Ravens are in, they are still, I believe, I checked yesterday, 20-1 to win the Super Bowl. The Patriots are 28-1. Figure that one out.
Yeah, the Ravens are 19-1, and they're also like the favorites right now to win the division. So
yeah.
Bloody, what do you got?
Can I buy the Ohio State stock you're selling?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'll purchase all of that. Also, a stock up to whoever made these graphics. I think that those are really cool and clean. The San Jose Sharks have 2 wins. They have 6 points. They are miserable. Brandon Walker sighing like he didn't go spend his Sunday night hockey game. That's crazy. 19-year-old, soon-to-be superstar Macklin Celebrini. Buy all the stock you have. The NHL's red hot right now, fun to watch. And there's an influx of young talent. Macklin Celebrini became the 3rd teenager to have 15 or more points through the first 9 games of the season. One of those that he joins is Wayne Gretzky. In the last 4 games, Macklin has 5 goals, 5 assists. He's been involved in 2 overtime winners. He's on a sick and depleted Sharks team. He is backpacking them to be into games. He is so much fun to watch, always smiling, a great goof, a great sniper, playmaker, sick release, sick handling. Watch Macklin Celebrini. You will have fun.
There we go.
Quick question, Blutman. What stock exchange you have to buy that Macklin Celebrini, like the Chinese penny stock exchange or something? Because that ain't on NASDAQ.
Nah, it's a side market.
I didn't know your guys' stocks were on NASDAQ. I'll do better for
Yeah, no, we're on the main markets, the big boards. I got no idea where to buy this one.
Blood's doing Forex. He's doing Forex and crypto schemes. Okay? Calabrini's a brand new coin. You're going to want to get it now. Trust me, guys. It's not a rug pull. It's not a rug.
Macklin Celebrini's incredible. Brandon Walker should know that. He's probably seen him play. He's also a big Barstool guy. Loves the gump.
Shout out. Okay, we got to go to break. More NFL talk on the other side. More here on FS1. Wake up,
Walker's
Barstool.
been forced to hockey. That's like the same reason Mr. Ice
We're
does.
going to break, man.
The Blackhawks are good, bro. 4-3. Rough game.
Run a commercial.
What are we going to do, dude? You know? What's up, guys? Welcome back to FS1. All right, Bloody Meek. What did we miss, boys? What did we miss over the weekend?
We missed talking about Yoshinobu Yamamoto being the first pitcher since Kurt Schilling in 2001 to throw back-to-back complete games in the postseason.
Damn.
He's a Dodgers secret weapon. Everyone knows they don't have a bullpen. He just put the team on his back, 104-pitch complete game. Got to tip your cap to him. Simple as that.
Yeah, back-to-back starts. Been absolutely dominant. Good series, though. 1-1.
Did you get your phone fixed?
Yeah.
Good.
Why are you mad about that?
No, that's Brandon's sincere tone. Like
I asked
that
you a
was
question.
That was
Yeah, I got my
actually-
phone fixed. Thank you, Brandon.
that wasn't a mean Brandon. That was a nice Brandon. He was looking out for you. Bloody, what did we miss?
Yeah, Miami Hurricanes wore the worst uniforms in college football history. We missed that.
I don't think I saw these.
Well,
Yeah, it
you
was
literally
tough to
did,
see.
you literally did not see them.
Yeah, no,
A disgrace to America.
and let me.
Like I said, you literally did not
Oh
see them.
God, they're just the field.
That's a green screen.
yeah, exactly. They
That's
just
the
blend
worst
in.
uniform that's ever been worn.
The Florida alligator uniform is still the worst of all time.
Just an awful color combination.
No,
Can I
but
do
you
a
have
quick, what do
to.
we miss? Can I do a quick what do we miss?
Yeah.
What do we miss for anybody? Do not watch House of Dynamite on Netflix. It has no ending. It's 2 hours waste of your time. They don't end the movie. I'm begging you, if you like political thrillers, which I do, and like nuclear bomb type movies, which I do, I got sucked in. No ending. Whoever was associated with the movie should be fired.
Well, now that Dave has saved you some time not watching House of Dynamite, I got something you should watch. How about the Internet Invitational, Dave? One of the biggest YouTube golf tournament that's ever been created. What's going on? What's the release
Yeah,
schedule
premieres
today?
today, 1 o'clock. So these are long episodes. They're like 3 hours each. I think we have 6 or 8 of them. I'm told this is what golf people do, but I was there for it. I think $1.7 million were at stake here. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I know if it's captured correctly, it's one of the best things we've ever done in 20 years. Absolute drama, theatrics, great event. Hopefully it captures it. I'm excited to watch it.
Beautiful course.
That golf course was unbelievable.
Great course, big cedar. Yeah, great. Johnny Morris, who's now my close personal friend, the guy who owns Bass Pro. Him and I got along like peanut butter and jelly. I've said that twice this show, but we did. Great friends.
Johnny, great guy. Went up to me, introduced himself, and hung out for 2 minutes. I appreciate it.
Great
Neither
guy.
of you are
Did
friends
you
with
hang
Johnny
out-
Morris.
I didn't know who he was.
Oh, I am friends with Johnny Morris.
Are you better friends with Johnny or Madison Beers?
Johnny.
Here.
Okay.
Singular.
Johnny or Rapoli?
Rapoli.
Okay. Rapoli or Brandon Walker?
All right, this is just enough. We have a great professional working
No,
relationship right
no,
now. We have
Rapoli
Dave
and
and I are in a
Brandon
great
Walker.
professional working relationship where things are good.
Are they?
They are good.
They're good. We're not hanging out on the weekends, but they're good.
Did we miss anything else, nerds?
Yeah, NDSU -6, easy.
Okay.
Thank you very much, brother.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. That was fantastic.
Blowout win, Bryce Lance. I'd spend a late first round.
This isn't something we missed, but I mean, Meek tried to sneak it in there with the. He snuck in the World Series a couple times. I mean, the World Series is happening. Right now. It's 1-1.
I
The Blue
know.
Jays with a 9-run inning the other night with a pinch hit grand slam.
First in MLB history.
Then the Dodgers bounced back, and then now we're going to LA. And
Yeah,
we've
but
got a 1-1
it
series.
is tough when you got a team from Toronto, LA. We've seen a million times.
Yeah.
It's going up on college football Saturday. I'll watch it, but it can't be going up against football,
Yeah.
if we're being honest. Maybe
Yeah.
put on a little TV. I mean, baseball is one of those sports, unless there's big, huge brand. Dodgers are, but who cares about the Blue Jays, honestly?
Yeah, but
Well,
Toronto,
this is-
it was electric on Friday.
So this is where this does get a little crazy, though. I would imagine like these two teams probably lead in viewership. Like in terms of home viewership, the Blue Jays smash because all of Canada watches. They get over 1 million a game, and I got to imagine if you factor in Japan, that LA's numbers are probably pretty out of control. So it is a
Worldwide
little-
viewership, absolutely.
Yes.
Because of Ohtani, no doubt.
What do you think about Max Scherzer tonight, Brandon?
Sure, he'll be fine. Meek, what should I think about him?
I think he's washed. I think tonight will be an awful start for him.
Okay, well, there you go.
There's I was also wrong about that his last start, so we'll see how I do tonight.
All right, coming up next, we're going to close out the show talking a little Monday Night Football. One more segment. Here on Wake Up Barstool.
Don't do that again.
Why, it's a spooky voice. It's Halloween.
We're grown men,
Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. So, we generally like to have a lot of fun on this show, mess around, but we do have to end today's show on a very somber note, as it's a story that we have talked about here recently, but former Jets great football player, all around great guy, Nick Mangold has passed away at just 41 years old. He was, by all accounts, a great man, and Dave, one that y'all got to know very well through the years.
Yeah, so he was involved in the Barstool world, really, I don't know when it started, but for as long as I can remember. I actually, believe it or not, Holly Mangold, his sister, had a show way back in the day on MTV, like I Want to Be an Olympic weightlifter, and I talked about it, became friends with Holly. Nick became part of Barstool. He'd be in the office a lot. And really, we've met a lot of athletes through the years at Barstool. And probably the nicest thing, or the most genuine thing that you can say about a Nick Mangold, is he would be nice and treat you with respect and a friend. And a lot of athletes aren't like this, famous people. He didn't care who you were. He didn't care if you were a professional athlete. He didn't care if you were me, top of the company. He didn't care if you were Meek Phil Blutman, or he didn't care if you were just a guy off the street. Like, he was genuinely just a nice, down-to-earth guy whose outlook on life and who he was friends with and who he would treat with respect and whatever and dignity, despite all his fame and fortune, never changed. Just a genuine, true, nice guy. And stories like this never fail for me. It's like, there's little things going on in your life, little problems, but you can't take anything for granted. I mean, 41, far too young. There's even that clip of him on the Yak 10 days ago.
Yeah.
And he's thanking the Yak guys, being like, sometimes people forget you are an outlet and an escape, and what you do is not appreciated. This is a guy who needed, a kidney. So just a true one of one. I don't think you're ever going to find somebody who has anything remotely negative to say about him. Gone far too soon. And I'm sure what he'd say is just, take a step back, a deep breath, and appreciate every day, because none of it's promised. But truly a genuinely nice, loving guy who treated every single person the way you'd want to be treated.
One of the best guys I have ever met, and Dave just said it, but Nick Mangold was the man for his entire life, but when he met you, that didn't come across. He's just a regular guy like us. He treated us like regular guys. But the main thing I want to say is, as successful as he was, and probably was, I think he'd want to be remembered as a family man. He was about his kids. He was about his family. He was about all that. I would text him, and he would not answer for 2 or 3 hours. He'd text me back and said, "My bad, bro. I was in Disney World. I was in Disneyland with my kids." That's what he was about. That's who he was. An incredible, incredible man.
Yeah, and so, look, nothing but love and support to the entire Mangold family right now. And again, here's to hoping that we can all take a step back and just have gratitude for everything we have in life every day that we have, as Nick did, and follow in his footsteps and treat people the right way, no matter who they are.
He was the best.
We love you, Nick, and the entire family. We'll see you tomorrow.